It's important for us to get healthy mentorship in order for people to live healthy lives.
Mentorship is to bring the best of you out of you.
One of the greatest things we can do to raise other leaders is to point them to other greater people.
Most people make the mistake, just as you mentioned, role modeling and mentorship. They might not even have met the person in life. Probably they just see the person on social media and they say, "This is my mentor." Really. Hello, good day. You're welcome to the Tri-Circle podcast, and we are so excited to have you here with us to listen to our conversation. Today, we are going to be discussing about Tri-Circle, what we stand for, who we are, and what value we are bringing to you. With me here, I have Mr. Olayinka and Mr. David. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. So together, we are going to be talking about Tri-Circle. We are going to be talking about insights, experiences, about a lot of things concerning Tri-Circle. And first, I would like us to start with the challenges the young adults and teenagers of our age face. You know, we can tell that most of our young teenagers or young adults, you just hear them talking about depression, talking about anxiety. I mean, how old are you? What's causing that? So we can tell that there are a lot of challenges these people are going through. So I'd like to know your view. What are the challenges you've seen so far? What are the things you know that these young adults and teenagers have been going through? Let's start from David.
All right. So one of the things we are out to achieve with Tri-Circle is to ensure that we help young people who are dealing with issues relating to their esteem because of their interaction with the media. And the media has had such a damaging effect on the way that they view the world. And we are hoping that with Tri-Circle, we're able to actually bring some solution to that issue so that their mindset can be such that helps them to thrive, to flourish, and to go further in life.
Exactly. I think I so much support, because the economy that we are in now, the country that we are in now, has kind of tuned our mind to think this is the way we ought to think. This is what we are supposed to be thinking. This is what we are supposed to be doing. And most especially media has a great influence on the teenagers of nowadays, especially when they don't know what they stand for. So, Mr. Olayinka, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I believe that, I think I should say that I agree with what Mr. David has said about the fact that young people depend on social media to determine what they do and how they live. And again, the issue of not having a solid mentorship system in our nation is something that has really affected the way young people think. So they pick whatever they think from their environment. They are heavily influenced by their environment, by the social media, by the people they see growing up, especially when those people are not really doing something impactful for themselves and for other people. So they get to see these things and reinvent the same situation that they grew up in.
Yeah. Mr. David, what do you have to say about what he said, what he mentioned about mentorship? What is the effect? Do you think it's really something important?
Absolutely important, really. I mean, if there is no counsel, there is a high tendency of perishing, of actually losing your life, of wasting your life. And it's important for us to get healthy mentorship in order for people to live healthy lives. And I think this is why we're so excited about Tri-Circle, because we are hoping to provide such mentorship opportunities and also to help with all of the things that will help them such that even their consumption of media can help to fine-tune their mindset so that they can actually deal with the world in a proper way.
This mentorship topic of a thing is kind of interesting to me, because personally, I would say I enjoyed the grace and I enjoyed the opportunity of being mentored by someone so dear to me now, my husband. And back then, he like God just sent him to me, and the way I was being mentored was it wasn't selfish. Yeah, he's a guy, which was quite, it was just so apart. But the fact that he was so intentional and he has already passed through what I was supposed to go through.
Yeah.
So I was about to take a step. He would tell me that, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I've gone through here. You don't have to go through what I have gone through.
Absolutely.
So I am going to say the case of mentorship is just something every one of us have to take so dear to our heart.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to go back to Mr. Lainka. Like, do you have any story, or do you have any example, or anyone around you that you've seen the person's results, and you can tell, oh, this is the result of discipline, this is the result of mentorship, this is the result of, because when you talk about mentorship, there's also the place of loyalty. There's also the place of the person ready to learn. So I would like to know, do you have anyone around you? Do you know of anyone around you that you can tell this person is successful today because he learned and he was loyal?
Yeah, definitely. I believe that, one of the things that people are very much afraid of when it comes to mentorship is people think that when you go under someone to learn under the person, you would later on, you'll become what the person is. But that's not what mentorship is really all about.
Exactly.
Mentorship is to bring the best of you out of you. It's to make you become what you are supposed to be. And I think, I strongly believe that mentorship has made me what I am today. And there's barely anyone in our nation or beyond who has ever been anything who he is without mentorship. Yes, we know people would say that they grew up all by themselves. They had no one to look up to. But at some point in their life, they've had to look up to some people. They might not share a very close relationship with such people, but there are people they call their role models. People they could look up to, people they could read their book and could learn from. So mentorship is something that has shaped people's life. One of the experiences I should mention is, I think when I was very young, I was planning for university and I was confused about a lot of things. And that's where several young people are. They're confused about a lot of things. Purpose, where would I go? What should I do? And all of those things. I was very confused. But I was still doing something. So I got to meet someone who I happened to share everything with. And he said, come sit down. So he told me that every time you're free, just come to my office and let us talk. That was the beginning of everything. So whenever I'm free, I was teaching in a school then. So every time I leave where I work, I go straight to his office and I'm right before him, speaking with him, opening my heart up to him. I listened to me carefully. He wanted to know what I was going through. He wanted to understand what I was experiencing. Then, after listening to me, then he began to counsel. And I think the listening phase is very important.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have listened to him if he had not listened to me. So at times, people just want to dump some stuff in young people. I know something you don't know. I'm going to teach you everything you should know. But there's a place of listening. When you listen to them well enough, they'll be able to listen to you to pass whatever, to receive whatever you're telling them.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to pick up from there, and you're still going to help us buttress that point about the topic listening. Now, I think that's another topic entirely. Listening is something that in our world today we barely see people who listen. We barely like, even for teenagers, they don't even have someone to speak to. Even we have parents, but opportunities. You might be lucky to have this parent that is rich, that has exposure and all. But on the other hand, another person might have this parents who don't even know anything. So listening is something. I would like you to please help us talk about.
There is an interesting book titled "How to Listen So Kids Will Talk" and "How to Talk So Kids Will Listen." So it's amazing the way that book is titled, because it's strategically titled and intentionally titled such. How to first listen so they would talk, and how to talk so they would listen. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. And I think it's one of the books that we're going to expose people to in Tribe Circle. And as I'm thinking really about this issue of mentorship, then I'm also thinking about the issue of role modeling. It's quite beautiful, because great mentors not only mentor the people by giving them direct advice, they also point them to amazing resources. So, and one of the greatest things we can do to raise other leaders is to point them to other greater people. And that's what we do in mentorship. And I'm also thinking about it that in mentorship, there is a principle of coaching. And the idea of coaching actually comes from the ancient times when you would have a horse and then you have the coach. The coach is to take you to where you want to go, not exactly where the horse wants to go. So the mentor takes you and coaches you by taking you to the place where you really want to go. And I also think about the concept of training. So let us use the acronym TRAIN. So the mentor is one who is so passionate in giving time, resources, attention, inspiration, and nurturing to ensure that this person turns out even more amazing than they can ever imagine.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. So I think this is going to be the last question on mentorship, or else they're not going to leave here.
Yeah.
Now, I think most people make the mistake, just as you mentioned, role modeling and mentorship. They might not even have met the person in life, probably. They just see the person on social media and they say, "This is my mentor."
That's true.
Really?
That's true.
Like, what do you have to say to that?
Let's start with you.
Fine. I think people have this attitude of attaching themselves to someone they believe has the value that they want.
Yeah.
So without even getting to meet this person or have a close relationship with that person, they call this person my mentor. Forgetting that in mentorship, there's a place of accountability. So if you're mentoring someone who is not accountable to you, you would not be able to accurately mentor the person because there is the give and there is the feedback. Is this person learning? Is it growing?
Yeah.
Is he becoming what he ought to become? But you see, if you call someone your mentor who you're not close to, who you do not who you do not see face to face, who you cannot account yourself to the person, there is barely a way the person can mentor you. At best, you call the person your role model. So you see the person from afar, you learn from the person, and you appreciate the person, but you must still have someone that you're accountable to, and that is the person you call your mentor.
Thank you so much. Like I promised, that's going to be the last question, last talk on mentorship.
Yeah.
Now, I would like us to pick one more issue, and that is the issue of loneliness. That is the issue of feeling like there's no one who understands me. I don't feel safe here. I don't even have anyone to listen to me. I don't even know where I belong. So what is the need of a community in the life of our young adults and teenagers?
Yeah, let me go first on this one. You know, I have really been a lover of personal development all of my life, really. Right now, I'm very involved with things having to do with mentoring people spiritually. And honestly, I know that doing that alone as the leader of that community of believers is even not just enough. I have always seen that it is communal development that fuels personal development.
Sure.
And then personal development then serves as the battery to power communal development. So community cannot be overemphasized. You know, it was C.S. Lewis who said something interesting, that our enjoyment of a thing is only completed when we express it. What's the joy of actually finding a book that you so much enjoy and you have no one else to share it with? Or you actually see a skit and you only laugh to that skit all by yourself. You're not able to show it to someone who you can share that laughter with. Or, you know, if you're married, you're not able to tell someone, isn't she lovely? You know, and several other things like that.
Yeah.
You know, our enjoyment is maximized when we express, and a community gives us that opportunity to express it, and that makes us alive, so that we are not just surviving, we're thriving.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. That's just like the benefits of a community, and there are actually more to it. So I would like you to talk on the effects, like what if you don't belong in a community? Do you think it's going to have a great impact in a person's life? Feeling isolated, like, oh, I don't belong anywhere. Like, how much effect?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is that in two ways, I think there is someone that I kind of mentored over a period of time, and after the person left, went somewhere else, and then the environment was not supportive of the things that she learned from me. After some time, we got to speak again. And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Those things you taught me then, I couldn't express them. Like, I can't even, I've lost all of those things."
Yeah.
I'm like, just hold on.
So there was no growth.
There was no growth because the community is killing those things.
Yeah.
So there is a power in that communion with other people, expressing the things that you believe the most.
Absolutely.
And the effect is that if you do not have a community where you can fully express yourself, you would be a one-off. You would be out of the community even though you're within. Exactly.
Yeah.
You'd be a misfit in the community. And the problem is that you keep bottling up a lot of things within you. At a point in time, you begin to think otherwise of the value you once held to. At a point in time, you realize that you're beginning to act like the community you belong to.
Absolutely.
And at that point, you begin to deny those things that you were once taught in the past. And that is what happens to our young people most times.
Yeah.
He goes to school. The school environment is a community. He's subjected to an environment. He has friends that he moves with at a point in time. He has learned some values from the parents. But then, now he's away from the parent, he's in his school. He had told himself from the beginning that I would not join them. I would not be like them. But the more he continued to move with them, somehow, subtly, the feelings are entering him. He kept on denying it. No, I would not, confessing that I would not. I know the kind of person that I am. Until he find himself acting like them.
Yeah.
And he couldn't control it.
Yeah.
And it is worse when he can't find someone to explain himself to.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the consequences or the problem of not finding a good community to belong to.
Yeah, thank you so much for that so far. I'd like us to talk about how Tribe Circle is bringing solutions to all of these concerns so far. We've talked about mental health. We've talked about mentorship. We've talked about a lot of things. So I'd like us to talk about how is Tribe Circle a community? How is Tribe Circle a solution to these problems? Mr. David.
Yeah. We want to offer the community for sure. And how do we then get the people to be aware of the community? Okay, we're doing this podcast right now so that other people can be aware of it. So I want to encourage you, if you know that this is something that you as a parent would desire for your child, make sure that you actually show this to your child. And we are hoping to bring in some professionals who are going to be addressing issues on how young people can actually use the media, not in a way that impacts them negatively.
In our upcoming conference.
Exactly, in our conferences and several other things. And our upcoming conference, that's Mind Over Media, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So you guys, we're going to still bring in more information to you guys about this. So as a parent, you want to also show other parents. And this is going to be happening in Ibadan City, even though we are going to ensure that several other people around the world have access to this. So we are also going to be looking at reading clubs, and so that people can read books that can expand their minds.
Exactly.
We are also going to ensure that all of these things are not only on the moral plane, but such that it connects with the ultimate purpose of life, which is the glorification of God, so that life is lived to the beauty and the glory of God. So we make sure that we surcharge everything with a fear of God and a regard for God. So, and there are several other ways. We just want to be listening ears. We'll listen to the need that you have and provide a solution.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think I would also mention that Tribe Circle is not just a community. It is a community that offers mentorship, listening ears, counseling. Like, you can be so sure that if you're just growing, or a young adult, teenager, and you just need someone to just understand life with you. You need someone to just understand what you're feeling, or you need someone to just guide you, to counsel you. We are here for you. So, please talk about it.
Yes, so I believe that what Tribe Circle is coming up to do is to bring people up who are already living their life in a way that is offering value and impacting other people, to help live their life amongst other people who are learning how to live life. So we want to bring people to live life alongside other people so that they can learn and then know how life is being lived. There was a time I was speaking with some
I was going
young
to say
people.
amen to that. Just kidding.
Yeah, I was speaking with some young people around me, and I was discussing some things with them. And I came to understand that not one of them had a very great fatherly experience.
Yeah.
I mean, each one had. I don't want to get emotional about
Heart's
this.
breaking.
But then it was heartbreaking that this is a situation that is happening to each and every one of them. And none of them had ever opened their mouth to tell me this. So we know that young people are bottling up a lot of things. And it is worse when they open up to people who would not give them the right advice. And that is why Tribe Circle is coming up too. We're trying to bring people to live life with young people so that younger people can learn from older people in some sense and learn how to live life and how to manage the pressures around them so that the pressure on the outside does not affect something on the inside. So that life can be controlled from the greater purpose, and that greater purpose manages every other things around them.
Amen.
Yeah, and I'm going to end it with that. You can be so sure that when you join our community, you are not just growing. You're going to be inspired. You're growing in all areas. Spiritually, definitely. You're growing in all ways. You need someone to mentor you about skills. So it's not just about, you just need a community. In all ways, you're going to bring speakers, just as we mentioned in our upcoming conference, that will be talking about media.
Mind over media.
Mind over media. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about mind over media. We're going to be bringing professional speakers to talk about life issues, to talk about their experiences and all. So we are going to be covering all of this, and you really do not want to miss it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Mr. Lainka. Thank you, Mr. David. And thank you, everyone, for joining this conversation. I am definitely sure that you won't regret our next podcast coming up. Stay tuned.